Good morning, traders. Good morning, Robert Pro, Dupree, Triniborn, Dusty, JC, Alfredo, James, Dennis, Michael, Bob Peterson, Bob Smith, Ford, Roth, Super, Martina, Fire Medic Dave, Chad, Picker, Mr. Rodriguez, Peter, David Knight, Jeff, Broke Joe, and everyone who hasn't typed in the chat, good morning to you. Not seeing much happening this morning. Got about 3 of them listed on the Momo side, no spikes. It's not a good sign. Good morning, Installer Pro, Gordon, Options Trader, Flo, Broke Joe, Jeff, Ruth. Could be a slow one, hopefully not. Maybe there's a surprise at 6 o'clock. If you're new here, just chiming in, we're watching this column right here for volume spikes. Once we see a volume spike, we click on it and take it over to the chart. We'll make sure that it has enough volume to get in and out safely, and then decide if we want to take a piece of it or not. This morning doesn't look too good. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Keep the spirits high. It could happen. Good morning, Who Loves Lunatic and Backroad. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Rodrigo, Malik. Well, if you haven't heard, yesterday's video live stream for pre-market was demonetized because someone said I was playing Christian music in the background. I don't know why they don't check first before they just take action, because there was no music playing in the background. I think someone just had it out for me, but that's fine. I can fight that battle. So I disputed the claim. Now the video's held up until they review it. So if you don't like it here, we do have an exit door. You don't have to be rude about it. Free content. Just move on if you don't like it. Don't cause a stir. Got about 30 seconds to go here. We'll be watching this spike column here. Maybe something's going to move for us. Good morning, David. Who loves lunatic? You never know what the problem is. Maybe jealousy. Who knows? I don't really care. We'll get through it. It's not the only battle I've ever fought. Watching the stocks here, I'm seeing bblg bumping up here, 84 cents. Not going to chase a penny stock, that's for sure. Don't know if it's pump or dump or whatever it is. I can almost assure you it'll lose half of its gains of this candle. It just drops. You can play it if you like them that cheap. I'm not going to play it. Looks like other buyers found it now and trying to drive it up. Not a whole lot of volume on this stock. Always watch this current bar volume if you're new here. Make sure this thing's really ticking away. Like to see lots of numbers flying by. This would be a pullback on a penny stock if you are a penny stock player. I'll mark out this red candle for you as soon as it stops and closes. And it should at least bounce back up to resistance. That candle did close. Let's see if we get the bounce or the sell-off. Waiting for a green candle there. There's no play there yet. Doesn't look like it's going to work out for that one. It should have already bounced. Hopefully this isn't a sign of what's to come this morning. It still could pop up, but for 3 pennies or 4 pennies, I'm not even worried about it. Good morning, Kenneth, Hung, Dwayne, John F., Bob Peterson, Harley's, MY. Looks like it may bounce up there, maybe not. I do see the buyers are coming in and driving the price back up. Not seeing a volume spike on it. Good morning, Perseverance. Morning, Randy P. I'm going to move on here and see what else is moving. M is trying to pull up a little bit. This is not a pullback. This is a sell-off. People tired of waiting, so they start selling. We'll go ahead and mark the high of the body of the candle. We might as well hit the low as well. See where it goes. Keep an eye on it. bblg making that move. It did play that pullback, but I don't play them. But it did work. Your entry is always going to be on the support level no matter what. Yeah, it is creeping up, that's for sure. Volume is very low. Doesn't look like many people are interested in it. Somewhat of a bad setup. But you never know. People are desperate in these trading days. They would drive anything up if they can find one that everybody will participate in. Good morning, Dana. Joe, that is correct. If it's red, the sellers are still in charge. This one may creep up slowly. There's nothing else here in the list. People will jump on board when there's nothing else to buy. Don't take that as an opportunity for me to tell you to buy it. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just telling you what could happen. It could just slowly keep creeping up. Need to see if this level becomes resistance. In other words, it'll bounce off the top of it before continuing up. Peterson, we're past that. That was old news. That was yesterday. Don't let it get you down. It don't bother me a bit. It is doing the creep thing, like I said. I only know these things from years of trading. I know when there's nothing to buy that people will pile on anything just to make a buck. I'm guilty of it myself. Continuing to go under low volume. Still going, still trying to, still pumping it up a little. The 800 share buyer on level 2. Hardly any sellers. There's a seller for 4,000 shares at 1457. So he's hanging on for 1457. 10,000 share seller at 1520. Still going. I kind of knew that's what they were going to do to this one. There's nothing else to buy, so we're going to continue to run here. Thank you, M. You were our only hope this morning at open. $10,000 share seller sold at 1403. Still have the 4,000 share seller at 1457. He's not big enough to hurt it though. The 10,000 share seller at 1520 would be the guy that could stop the run up. Since we're under low volume, 10,000 would be quite a bit of shares to drop at once. Looks like we're getting a little bit weak. Could see a pullback here. Still on low volume. Not a whole lot of sellers here. Good morning, Tony. I'm going to go ahead and mark out the next level up. We may pull back down to 1347. It may not make it quite that low. I'm expecting other people to see this run of green candles, and the latecomers will find it, maybe drive it up a little bit more later. When I say later, in a few minutes. Robert Pro, the level 2, the NASDAQ full book is going to show you further down the price list on this stock to show you where the sellers will be on the ask side. So if you look at NASDAQ full book and look down the list, you'll see those sellers sitting there at 44,000 at 1457 and 10,000 at 1520. That's if you're looking at the NASDAQ full book on level 2. There is some buyers coming back in, as I said, and I did say it may not pull all the way down to here. Let's see if they try to get a little more out of it. Regular level 2 is only going to show you the top 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6. It's called level 1. Very low volume. It's not even ticking at the moment. It's also not selling off. I did say there weren't very many sellers on this stock. A couple of them selling 200 shares. Here's what I'm looking at on level 2. This is the NASDAQ full book. You can change it right here. This is one you're watching. You can select this one. You can see that 4,000 share seller at 1457. If it gets up to 1520, somebody's going to drop 10,000 shares. Over here are the buyers. Buyers are weak. So you always want to watch out on this column over here on the ask side. If there's a big seller sitting here when the price gets up this high, you may want to use caution if you're in the stock. Good morning, Skits. Looks like everybody got in and they're holding. It's not really selling off. So Malik, when you click on your level 2, it's going to look more something like this and shorter. Yours probably looks like this, and you have to go over here and select this option and NASDAQ full book right here. Now I always detach it so I can drag it around, and you can shape it the way you want it to be and make a column out of it on your other monitor. That's what I do. Good morning, Francisco. Looks like Macy's is going to hold this price level here. Maybe worth watching. Maybe sit on 100 shares if you're scared of it. Click the 3 hamburger bar things. One of them up there on the top right has a detach. It's going to be the 3 hamburger bars on the level 2, or 4 hamburger bars, however many they have. Since nothing's happening, I'll show you real quick. Right here is where I'm talking. You click here and you can detach it. I can actually break out another one right off of that one. So now I have 2 of them working. You are welcome. Just remember in level 2, you got to add 2 zeros to those numbers. M is moving a little bit more up. Volume's picking up. And it's died off again. Probably going to be a creeper from here. BBLG moving up. That's that penny stock we first started with. So on these cheaper stocks, don't let the volume fool you. People buy more shares because it's so cheap. So if they're buying 10,000 shares at a time, you're not looking at very much volume when it says 100,000 shares traded. They were really into this stock. It'd be in the quarter of a million, half a million if they were really jumping on it. Good morning, Tix Trader, RDB. We'll go back to M here and see what's happening. Definitely holding its price. Too bad a bunch of buyers didn't find it and really drive up some big tall green candles. You can see them spike arrows came in and you pretty much can say buy, 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 buy. How many buys do you need? Then they slacked off. Then the volume picked up a little more and you got another spike arrow. Nothing on the top saying get out of here. Nothing at all. Malik, I don't pay for it. You may have to go to, well, it used to be TD Ameritrade. I guess you're going to Schwab now. Maybe still go to TD Ameritrade and check the box. It's probably a free subscription. That's probably what I did years ago, was just check the box. Kind of like live data, real-time data. You just go select a subscription, but there's no fee for it. I think you only need to subscribe to level 1 and you'll get the rest of them. It's like Macy's may be playing out here. Yeah, we've been watching it move off and on. It's a penny stock. I don't play them, but you guys can play them. I'm not going to call it out because they don't really respond like a stock that's a higher price range. They're unpredictable. I mean, if they're buying large lot sizes and somebody drops a large lot size on a cheaper stock, it's going to drop right along with it. Cheaper ones are more volatile on the smaller cells than regular. You can see it almost lost that whole candle already. Got to be fast on the mouse button for those suckers. All right, let's get this demo done. I am Ricky Gaspard, if you're new here, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm a guy who trades from his home office. I've been trading since 1990. I'm also a ThinkScript coder, and the scripts you see here you will not find anywhere except for here. Unless somebody took them and they're trying to sell them, but they're for free. I created this volume spike indicator because I needed to know the moment a stock started moving up or down. I was able to break the volume down as far as buys and sells. And it tells us which direction the stock is going right when this volume spike fires. Over in this column, I created the momentum scanner. It's built off of this script as well, but it's looking 30 minutes back for any stock that's moving. So if they're trading this stock, there was a movement this morning, and it gave it a score, a low number. If the buyers continue to buy it, it'll work its way up the list to the top. This would be very strong buying up here. It could also be very strong selling, so you have to watch this volume spike indicator. Once they take off, we go over here. This is called the pullback strategy. I also scripted it. These arrows are also tied into this volume spike information, and it lets us know when the buyers are there and there's spikes in these candles. We watch for the crossover once we see the volume spike take off. Once we see these two moving averages, they're exponential moving averages. This one's the 5, this one's the 13. We watch for that crossover. If we see these arrows start popping in, that's when we want to make our decision to get in or not. We also play the pullback strategy. I like to let the first candles run up and mark the high of the body of the candle. Wait for it to pull back and that red candle to close, and I'll mark the support level. And usually the stock takes off from there. It's a very profitable trading strategy. It very seldom fails. And it keeps you from losing money if they're just pumping the stock up and all of a sudden they sell off on you. So if they were going to sell off here, it would have dropped way back down and it would not have been a play, but they didn't. It pulled back to a level and took off again. We also monitor this current volume level to make sure there's enough volume there for us to get in and out safely. And when these arrows are popping in, you'll see a label up here pop in that says bullish or bearish, and it's monitoring the candles as they produce. So it's either going to be a bullish candle or a bearish candle. Down here, we're monitoring the overall volume of the stock. So there's two labels here. You can see there's 100% buyers, and now there's 100% sellers. So since the volume's so low, it's going to tick back and forth. But if they were buying it like in this section, it would be pegging green right here. So this one is overall volume. This one up here is just the current candle. This indicator down here, it's my latest creation, and I took these two indicators and made them visual on the chart so you can see the buyers were slacking off, the sellers were increasing. And it gives you a good visual of the overall volume of what's taking place. Never trade off of my live stream. Sometimes we're delayed. We could be delayed by minutes, I'll be honest with you, but don't trade off of my screen. Get set up like this. Watch my YouTube videos. I just posted the link in the chat. Uh-oh, what happened? Let me post a link in the chat. That's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's how I make a few pennies for the next cup of coffee. Like the videos, comment on the videos, let YouTube know what kind of a job I'm doing here. It also lets me know what kind of a job I'm doing. Like this live stream, if you like the information you see, that also helps me make a few more pennies. So if you haven't clicked the like button, do me a favor and do that this morning. Over on the YouTube channel, on every YouTube video, there's going to be a link to our Discord in the description. I'll post that link to the Discord right here in the chat. If you're looking to get set up like this, you'll find all of these indicators on Discord in current setup. If you have trouble installing scripts and labels and indicators, watch video number 8 and how-to videos. It'll walk you right through it. If you have trouble installing these scripts, leave me a message in support. If I can't get to you, somebody will. Everybody belongs to every room in this Discord. So if you have the knowledge, help out. It always helps me get a little slack time to keep building creations. But I try to answer them as much as I can. And I thank you for joining us this morning as we wait for this indicator to fire back up. That is correct. This indicator will be released this coming Sunday. You're going to notice some blank spaces. It takes time to build up. It has to really determine where this stock is going before it starts plotting. I actually thought it was an error in the script, but it's not. So it has to look backwards to determine what's going to happen in the future. We're actually only monitoring this section here, right at the end. This is the live data right here. This already happened. This is just the calculations to determine the direction of this stock, so it can plot the right angle of the indicators. Thank you, Rodrigo. We have some wonderful tools. We have some very profitable tools. We just need the market to cooperate, and it's been rough for the last few years. We are pulling out some profits, but we get very little opportunity to do that, maybe 1 or 2 a day. And we have had days where nothing was really worth buying, but we're fighting the battle. We'll get through it. Better days to come. They can't stay like this forever. Now, like, I could release it now, but I'm going to wait till Sunday. I have to have these videos benefit me over in YouTube. Sunday, I get my best performance when I release something. It's like everybody's home doing nothing, so I get a lot of views on that video if I wait till about noon on Sunday. Sometimes I wait to 2 p.m. because I know a lot of people go to church, they go to lunch after church. So anywhere between 12 and 2, I will put it out on Sunday. I want to thank all the Patreon subscribers for their support. They seem to be coming in slowly, but they're coming in, and I really appreciate that. Helps me keep the bills paid as usual. All of the money generated from Patreon and from YouTube is going back into the channel, going back into Discord, going back into YouTube. Building that subscriber base. I'm hoping to have 5,000 or 6,000 by the end of the year. We're currently just over 3,000 on YouTube, 2,000 or bumping 2,000 on Discord. Joe, no problem. So if you don't know where the Patreon link is, it's over in voluntary contributions on Discord. It's not mandatory that you do it, but all the help we can get is appreciated. You're still going to get the stuff for free. So if you're new here this morning and your list is not looking like mine, make sure when you loaded the Momo indicator, you right-click on the name, go to Edit Formula. Make sure this box right here is checked, Extended Hours. And the way I have them sorted is you click on the momentum indicator until they come to the top. And this is our pre-market scan. You have to have it loaded as well. This is the all-stock scan. You can find both of these on TOS Scans. And over on Discord, make sure you visit our trading floor where we have Gregster and River Place Dad doing their due diligence on stocks, and they post them when they have some good ones. I often sit in with them and post a few myself when I have the time. Also visit our options traders where we have It's Me Bob. He's the king over there. He knows exactly what to do with options. If you have any questions, you may want to message him. He often holds a live stream when he has enough participants and digs a little bit deeper into options if you want to get into trading options. Really appreciate what he does. He can help you out if you're interested. Good morning, Eric. I'm seeing Mag L is back in the picture here. This used to be a good mover in its day. It looks to have sold off, though. A couple months back, it was a pretty good mover. I'm going to say 5 or 6 months ago. But it's showing its face again. Enjoy your coffee. We're in the silent phase. Our next opportunity will probably be around 7 o'clock. Hopefully something will fire up then. It hasn't this week so far. The top of the hour is usually when news comes out, if you're not aware of that. Hopefully we'll get some good news at 7, and something will get driven up even further. List is a little bit longer than before market open. We had 3, now we have 6. So over the last 30 minutes, these are the only ones that have really moved. If you have any questions, now is the time to post them in the chat. I'll be glad to answer them while nothing's happening. Otherwise, if there's a stock play and you ask a question, you may have to wait a while before I answer. If you don't have any questions, that means you know exactly what you're doing. And I'm sure quite a few of you have caught on. It's really not that hard. You attend these live streams, you'll be on top of it in about a month. Just watch what I do every morning. I will plot it out for you. Tell you where your entries are. It's going to be up to you to get out when you can. Good morning, Jim. Good morning comes to mind. Skits Daniel, you go to the YouTube channel and click on live, and all the live streams will be there. And if you just click on videos, you'll find all of the videos about different topics I've covered over the last 6 or 7 months. I'm seeing NVIDIA down here. So we do have higher price stocks in BABA and Cisco and POD or PDD. Let me correct that. And we have Apple in the list down here this morning, and Microsoft and Intel and Billy. So we do monitor all the stocks. It's just that the large caps don't usually trade in pre-market. That is correct, Joe. Just pay close attention to what you're installing. It's over in current setup, steps 1 through 4. So 3 and 4 are going to be watch list items, and after you get them imported, you're going to load them through this little gear icon and custom. And you'll search for it over here. You can probably just type in Momo and it'll pop up, and you move it over to the right. Move it up or down the level with these 2 buttons and put it where you need it. If not, you can drag the column heading left or right by holding down on your left mouse button. Make sure you right-click on the name once you get it installed, and make sure this ext is checked. It's not going to be checked when you first install it. It won't keep a custom setting, so I have to upload it and tell you to check the ext box. Skits, when you select momentum and sort it by clicking on the name like so, they're automatically going to sort themselves. I don't know what you mean by auto scroll on a chart, Skits. Joe, you can just right click up on it, go to edit formula, and you can change the name right here. You can make it short, call it whatever you want. And then click apply and OK, so you save it. Skits, are you on real-time data? Look up in the left top green corner. It should be green up there. It should say connected in real-time data. Dana, good point. So right here you have a little chain link. You can select this option and whatever color you choose for this watch list. Make sure you choose the same color on your chart. And then when you click over here, it's going to throw that stock over on the chart. Thank you, Dana, for that reminder. Skits, I don't know why your charts aren't moving. That's probably going to be a TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab question. We don't have any control over how these stocks move. If yours is not happening, you may have an issue. Over my head. Yeah, I'm watching WAVD. This would be the high right here. This would be the pullback. So it could bounce from this support zone back to this resistance level. This would be a pullback. Volume is quite slow, though. Don't know if I would risk it or not. It is showing bullish in that one candle. Here's that one candle right here. And this label did say it was bullish. It is holding the support zone here. Got sellers in the overall volume. It's not plotting yet. It doesn't have enough data to plot. It's going to pull back up to 322. At least it's acting like it's going to. Just wish the volume was a bit higher. Not seeing a bunch of buyers coming in. It's not really firing up here. Now it's bearish. It still could pull up, but you just have to wait and see. But these indicators are in the wrong color. Dusty, it should adjust itself. TD Ameritrade's platform knows what time zone you're in. Malik, I'm mainly focused in on this current volume here and these two labels. So when it pulls up and I mark the resistance line and it pulls down, the next thing I'm looking for are these green candles and these arrows. So had I gotten in here, I'd probably still be hanging on, but because volume was so low, I did not enter. I like this number to really be ticking, no delays. They're buying it. It's strong. So I'm not looking for any specific number or value. I'm watching buyers and sellers is all I'm watching. You have to remember in pre-market, a lot of the stocks don't have any volume. And then all of a sudden they'll put out news and they could have millions of shares traded in the next 2 minutes. All depends on that news. So from zero volume to millions, we've seen that happen over and over and over. There's not a specific number in the volume bar because, just like I explained, we go from zero volume to we could go to millions of shares. I just like to see the movement of the numbers. Like right now, it's a little couple of buyers and then it pauses, then a couple of buyers and it pauses. It's paused right now. I like to see this number really flying. That tells me there's a lot of buyers coming in, and you'll see this number just ticking away when this stock is moving up. Things are kind of sluggish this morning. This is about the second one we've seen just drag sideways and then eventually work its way up. Not a lot of confidence in the market. Dana, you sound like me. You hang on to them, you get a couple minutes ahead, nothing happens, you get out and they take off. It happens regularly. I try to give myself a minimal loss and hang on as long as I can. So we're not really focusing on green candles and red candles. We kind of are. We're really focused on numbers. We want to see these bullish signals. Really, this percentage will be rising. Just like that one's rising. It says bullish and the number's rising and the stock's going up. And it did hit back on 322. Don't know if it'll break through it. It's pretty weak. But the pullback strategy pays off again, but in sluggish time. You won't see this pullback strategy fail very often, but it can. Don't get me wrong. Nothing is 100% in the market. Anything can happen at any given time. Just like we didn't know we were going to be pegging this 322. But because of the way we set this up with support and resistance level, we had a good idea it was going to return back up here. Good job, David Knight. Good job, Robert Pro. Good job, Jimmy, and good morning to you. I think it would be pretty much safe to say, like we saw it pull down here to support, and let's say you bought in, I think the safe play would be to hang on to it until it drops down below. You may take a loss from it, but if it doesn't, you did get your profit overall. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a lot. James, could you take off the caps locks for me, please? I do have vision issues, and it kind of throws I don't even know how to describe it, but it makes me have to focus differently. And I really appreciate if you take it off. I know you want to stand out, but stand out by making a good trade and posting your winnings. That'll make you stand out. Good morning, GMAC. If you're not aware, I am blind in one eye and I have color issues, so I select the colors I can see clearly. Rich, they are not. I manually put them in. You can get them auto-generated, but they're not accurate as if you did it yourself. Indicators are pretty good, but they're not exact. Even my indicators are not exact. They don't predict the future. They only tell you what's currently happening. Made a video on that. It's over in how-to videos, support and resistance line. It teaches you how to put them on your chart. Then you come here each morning and learn how to put them. Good morning, Jeff. Very important you go to YouTube and watch the older videos. There's a lot of information over there. Even though they're older videos, doesn't mean they're not relevant. You pick up information off of all of them. Watch the how-to videos over in Discord. There's not very many on Discord. Most of them are over on YouTube. But what's on Discord is mainly the questions that are asked in this live stream. I try to make a video on it if I feel there's a need. I understand some of you are new and don't know anything, and you may have been drawn to this channel because it looks good to you, but you still have to learn the stock market. It's not as easy as watching my indicators. So I highly advise you to come here each morning. I know it's early, but that's where the money's being made currently. And watch these live streams and learn what I do, listen to what I say. And sometimes don't do as I say. But I'm pretty accurate. Been at it a long time. Thank you, Trinaborn. It's a blessing for all of us. I am so thankful I get to share this stuff with you guys. You won't know the feeling that I have in my heart from doing this. It's so rewarding. You're welcome. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Rodrigo. I always say if you have something that's good and it can benefit others, let them know. You might think it's something minor that you know, but it may be very important to them. I understood there was a lot of traders struggling over these last 3 years, and I was still making money when they were struggling. So I started putting my mind and my thoughts and my trading strategy into indicators so that I didn't have to tell you what to do. You could learn a system that was actually in my brain of the way I traded, but I'd put my brain in these indicators. I know that kind of sounds far out, but that's exactly what's happened here. Rodrigo, Patreon is voluntary only. Just helps me support the channel. I've been dishing out the bucks trying to get to where we are today. So if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. If you find this information valuable and you're making money, you may want to pay it forward and help out. But it's not mandatory. It's all voluntary. NLSP looking good here. It's a cheap stock, though. Let's see if we can get a mark out here. Volume is very slow. I guess we're on a slow volume morning. This one looks like it's going to sell off and not return back to that resistance line. Thank you, JC. I'm very thankful that all of you are participating. Thank you, Boonski, for that kind comment. Don't make me cry. That's how happy I am. Got Dharma moving here. We did get a run up. Let's see if we get a pullback out of it. Volume is nice. You can see those numbers really ticking like I'm talking about. It may just run up. We'll see. So it first takes off and you're the first to know, and then other people will see it after you see it, and then they'll drive it up even more. So once they see this, it takes them a while to find it, then other buyers come in. If it's a pump and dump, it won't go back up. It's just going to sell off. Joe, there is. I have a how-to video over on Discord, how to get set up for pre-market. So let's see if they find it here. I'm watching this volume number. It's really moving. I'm also watching these labels. There's some sellers here, so don't be anxious to buy. You can let the stock set up. I'd like to see it pull back to where my mouse is right now. And it did. It hit right on it. Now, if it's going to go up, this will be the point it will break through. Volume looks nice. Needs to break through. Looking kind of weak. Always remember, when I throw these resistance and support levels in, your entry point is going to be on the support level. So you want to try to strike as soon as it's down here, not necessarily now. This stock did not work out. And if it's going to fail the moment it comes below the support level, you should be out instantly. Cut those losses short, quick. I know you might waste a trade and tie up some money, but that's better than a big loss. Closer you can get in down here, the more you're going to make. Thank you, Roth. Wave D on the move again. Right now, since the play was back here and it was a slow play, I didn't play it. Some of you did, made a little bit. Some of you got out too early. So the next play would be this price rising, coming back down and testing 322. If it doesn't break through, it may run up to another new level. So I can zoom in a little bit here and you can watch what it's doing. It's bouncing off of support now. It broke through resistance. This line then becomes support on the top side. It could just run up from here, or it could break down below it. Your entry's not here. It's going to be after it runs up and comes back down to retest. Not looking good on the indicators down here. The sellers are stronger than the buyers. So don't be anxious. Don't click the button here. Of course, if you're a professional trader and you know what you're doing, you may want to decide differently. I'm just telling you the way I trade. I'm waiting. I don't like losing money. I don't like you losing money. This is why we don't, oh, it's breaking through, I'm in. That's why you don't just do that. Because this is what can happen to you. Don't chase them green ones. They could cost you money. Jerry, they don't reset. There's no reset buttons. If they're not working, there's an issue somewhere. If you're trying to use them for paper trading, they don't work in paper trading. They don't work in on-demand. Good morning, James L. Trying to move up here. Needs to move up, come back down and retest. Very slow volume. Don't know if I would even chance it on the retest. The buyers did step up here on this green candle. Now we're running about equal on buyers and sellers, and the sellers are dominating. I'm not liking the activity here. I would probably stay clear. If this was going to go, it would have been much quicker than now. It would have just went up, came down within a couple of minutes and sprung back up. It looks like they're selling off. We have weakness in this whole area. Looks like we tested the high back here. I'll throw a level there and pulled right back down below it. Roth, when you're watching me do these charts, you'll see me mark out these levels. They're mainly marked out on reversals. When the price reverses, just like this would be a line down here, just like this was a high and it reversed, there you throw a line up there. Then it had trouble here. You can see where it hit multiple times on this level. That would be a line. I kind of play them out right here. When I see it turn around, I'll mark it. I'll wait for the pullback. I mark it and expect it to run back to here. It actually did, but it's not performing well at all. I like at least 20, 25 cents on up as a profit, but I don't like it this slow. Buyers are dominating stock now. They could drive it up. Too long of a wait for profit for me. It's too slow. The SPY is falling. That could be holding things back now. Good morning, Sock. Glad you can make it this morning. Now you see why I'm not interested in this stock. It's just bouncing right here. About 10 cents in there if you wanted 10 cents. But it would have took you forever to get it, 5 minutes or so. Broke Joe, I'll take a look at ENSC. Ouch. Yeah, looks like they tore that one up. It could have been a pump and dump. That's usually how they look. You'll get these when people are stuck in a trade and they're in the negative. They'll get a group together and say, all right, everybody, let's drive it up. Let's pump it up on social media. And when they buy, let's cover our losses. That does happen. Seeing wave D breaking through. The play here would be a return back to this level. Not worth jumping in on a green candle and you get 2 pennies and then you're negative a nickel and then you're out and you take a loss. Not worth it. This ZVZZT, this is a test symbol from the exchange. Don't trade it. It's not tradable. This is why you don't jump in on green candles right here. You got to know when to get in. If it's your first time here, we are watching this volume spike indicator. It's monitoring anything that's moving. This is our list of stocks that have been scored by the momentum indicator. This indicator is looking back 30 minutes for anything that's moving, and it gives them a score. If they're moving very little, it'll give them a low score. As they start buying the stock, they'll start rising. This one tells us if the volume is positive or negative with buyers or sellers. This is the pullback strategy. We wait on this crossover. This is a good entry point as well, but it's kind of risky. I like to wait for it to run up and hit a resistance level, pull back to a support, and then you're in. This is not a good play. You'll see these spike arrows coming in. This candle's always monitored up here by this label that's not showing yet. If this candle's bullish or bearish, it's indicated by a bullish or bearish signal up here. We watch this volume bar. This is the current candle. We like to see those numbers really flying when they're buying the stock. We don't chase green candles. We plan our entries with support and resistance lines. Over here, you'll see the monitor of the entire volume of this stock since it started trading. This tells you there's 75%, well, 51 now, percent sellers. When it's really ticking up, you're going to see a green label here, a green label here. You'll see me calling out these resistance and support levels and telling you where the entries are. Down here is a visual of these two indicators here. This is the buyers, the red one is the sellers. Right now, the buyers are dominating. It's not a strong run up. You can see the angle is downward, so the volume overall is dropping as these two lines make their way towards the bottom. The volume would be rising as those two lines are making their way towards the top. This is not a directional indicator for the price, as you can see. The higher side of this indicator is high volume. The lower side of it is low volume. So don't use this as a direction. This gives you volume information only. It also gives you buyer and seller information. Eric, do you have the TIF loaded and it says extended hours, not day? And if you're trying to paper trade, you're probably not going to execute any trades in pre-market. You could have a bug, Eric, I don't know, but if it's not working for you, you may have an issue above my head. And then if you're in a stock that has very low volume and you're trying to sell and there's no buyers there, it's not going to execute the trade. That's why we always watch for high volume. We want to click in and click out. If the volume stops and you're trying to sell and there's nobody there to buy them, you're not getting out. Rodrigo, the flatten now button, I do have it on my chart. Let's say you bought 50 shares, then you bought 33 shares, then you bought 97 shares, and you've lost track of how many shares you've bought. If you reach up there and hit that flatten now button, it will sell everything you bought along the way. Jim, it works on anything that operates on volume. These are volume-based indicators, so anything with volume they'll work on. I have literally broke down volume in more ways than you can think. That's why I don't have volume bars bouncing up and down. I like to know actually candle by candle how this stock is trading. That's why you see a label here for my volume. Bar going up and down doesn't give me the information I need to call out my plays accurately. This label does, this indicator does, this indicator does. And soon for you, this indicator will help you. This one helps you. All of these are volume. Paramedic Dave, did you try the flatten button or the flatten now button? There is a difference. Flatten now pretty much says get me out of everything that I have, and the flatten button, it's going to sell you out when it can. Thank you for that information, Big Mike, and good morning to you. You're welcome, Rodrigo. So your play here would be the return to this 88-cent level before the next run up. I'll go ahead and mark the high of the body of this candle. We are in a pullback. It's a cheaper stock. I will not be playing them. I don't trust them. Too easy for somebody to drop 10,000 shares on a 90-cent stock and take your money from you. You're welcome, Eric. Good morning, Wyatt. We did pull back down to near the 88 cents on this stock. So do you want to risk your money for 89 cents back up to 92? I would think not. Diet soda, these arrows here, they mean volume is increasing in this candle and it is spiking. It will also trigger the label up here. Same thing in reverse. If it's selling off, they can spike downwards as well. In V6, we also have a channeling arrow, and that's when a stock is squeezing. And that channeling arrow is going to try to help you decide if it's going to break out of that squeeze up or down. That's the difference between V4 and V6. The options traders like V6, it seems to help them out. They apply it along with their trading strategy. They may use it with other indicators as well when options trading. They're not solely relying on the indicator itself. They're traders like I am. They like volume plays and price action. So you really have to watch the candle as well. How is the candle performing? How's the price action performing? After it hits that level, you plan an entry on. These indicators teach you to watch the candles, the action of those candles. Once you get this system down, you'll be able to plot these resistance and support levels in your head without even drawing them. You'll know exactly what to look for, and you'll be playing and trading off of the candles and the volume itself. These indicators are just confirmation of what I see. And once you learn that, you can pretty much trade without nothing but support and resistance levels, volume, and price action. Good morning, International Trucking. APLM, we've played it before. You see, I've already got the level set. Still running up. Maybe a resistance at $1.34. Going to break on through, it looks like. Buyers are still on it. I'm watching the volume over here. Never forget about this little indicator. It's ticking away with buyers. I don't chase these candles. I wait for it to turn around and pull back down to a support level. So right here, if you'd have got in, you may be losing money about now. The perfect pullback would be down to $1.23. These are old lines now. It really should be down in here somewhere. But they're still buying. They're still pushing. You chase green candles. Good luck to you. I'm going to erase these lines and reset them. So right now we're looking at all green. We would be waiting to set that resistance level. I know these guys are going to start taking profit. These buyers here will take profit soon. That's what's going to create the pullback. You can see it's bullish and it's bullish. Buyers are still coming in. Kind of bouncing up and down, not getting anywhere right now. They don't want to let it die, it looks like. You chase the green candles on this one, you should be in profit. We probably could have seen this earlier. I was talking away, doing an explanation. Somebody called it out in the chat. I happened to look down and see it. It was already up in this area. Waiting on profit takers here. And we may not get them. They may just keep running it up. This is the stock market. It's not predictable. You can make an educated guess. That's what I do. You can see these arrows coming in. These are telling you the buyers were present. That was an 80-cent run on a dollar stock. Wished I would have caught it sooner. I can make it come down. All I got to do is click the buy button. When a stock first takes off, this indicator is not going to pick up on it until it builds up enough data. You may see the lines pop in here soon. It has to have a history to work. There's no way for me to correct it. So this is only about 10 minutes. That's not enough data for this one to plot correctly. If this stock would have been moving back here, it would have already had lines. This is going to be our 200% gainer this morning. Is it not going to fail? It appears so. Wished we could have seen it earlier. Could have a small pullback here before the next run up. Since it's this high, I'm not having really good feelings about a pullback at this level. It's already up 100 and something percent. When this candle closes, I'll click the mouse. There it goes. So it will pull up from here. But how far will it pull up? It's already pulled up. This is kind of like buying an overbought stock. That's why I wouldn't risk it. You can see it's respecting this level. It did not pull back down below it. Do have sellers popping in. Now more buyers. I'm watching volume. I'm watching these labels. So it did pull right back up to here. It's probably going to break through. Once again, the pullback strategy worked, but it was a risk play. It had already climbed up over 100%. May not have more to it, but it did play between these lines. Jim, there was a pullback right here, but it was overbought. So I suggested we stay out of it. You may see it differently. Your entry level is always on the pullback when I mark a support line. You'd have made a profit here, nothing like I would have thought. But it's still going. It's going to break, it looks like. Or it's trying. Just risky after it's already had a run that strong of 100%. But we've seen them go to 1,000%. So the play is on you at this point. Not a bad morning for such a dead morning, right? Good morning, Coach. You see what M is doing, if I can find it. I may just have to type it in. There it is, down here. That's a sell-off. That's not a pullback. That's people giving up, probably not going to get a good bounce out of M. This is why I said I don't know if I would trust it at this level. It was bought, overbought. Now it's just playing around here. It is holding this level, and every time we see a stock hold their price range for a while, there is a possibility for another run up as long as it doesn't sell off. So you have to put it in your personal watch list and keep an eye on it. Good job, Dusty. M is still selling off. This is what I mean when I say these are not price directional indicators. You can see the buyers are still stronger than the sellers, but the volume has dropped off. Just that there hasn't been enough sellers to drive this red line up. Bunch of no volume stocks. See, the indicators popped in down here finally, about here. It gathered enough data to let you know what's going on. So this is not a flaw. It just didn't have the data because it wasn't trading previously. It just started running up. And this goes back to my no volume and then a lot of volume. This is pre-market trading. That's how it works. No volume, good news comes out, millions of shares traded. I do see a flaw with the current trading system. I know these indicators are working, but our pre-market volume is stuck at 1859 when we're trading 269,000 shares. That's going to be on their side, not ours. It's not an error in our indicators. It's on the platform itself. Well, this morning turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. We only had like 3 stocks at the beginning of this session. A couple of you made some profits, paid for dinner, paid for coffee. I'm not seeing AULT on my scans. I looked at it earlier. Now I found it. But I'm not seeing any movement. I'm not seeing what you're seeing, J Streets. I'm not seeing 21 million shares traded. I'm seeing no volume traded, unless you're typing in the wrong symbol. $180, yes, I do. It's still affecting it. I can't wait till this migration is over. They actually knocked out this script for about a week, and I had to figure out how to recode it to get it working again. Ah, okay. Still did not pop up on my scans, and that's because it's a 13-cent stock. My scans are set for 25 cents and above. And the only reason this is 21 million shares is that you got to buy 10,000 of them to make a trade, a decent trade out of it. Maybe 20,000 of them. So these cheap penny stocks trade very high volume, but that doesn't mean it's going to affect the price like it does on a higher price stock. Now, like they can change something on their server side, maybe remove a script that I was using. Then I have to figure out what script they changed to and code it to where it works again. They can't see what we're doing here unless you call in the support and they chime in on your computer. But they don't care. They know these are just indicators. The ThinkorSwim community is nothing but a bunch of people sharing indicators and sharing their knowledge. Well, some of them are sharing their knowledge. I know the ones here are. Good job, Stefan. So we went from 21 million shares traded to nothing traded. It's now frozen. Let me back out here. I zoomed in earlier so we could watch that stock. APLM still holding that price range. Remember earlier I said if it sticks in this price range, there is an opportunity for another breakout. But at this point, if it's down here on this support level and breaks out, it's probably going to break down. If I zoom in a little bit, it's kind of a tight channel, so you can't really tell which direction it's going to break. Our indicators are saying down at this moment. We're seeing down here and a bearish arrow up here. Long as this current volume label's working, that's all I'm concerned about. This could be the breakout, the next run. Don't chance it. I'm not telling you to buy it. They'll probably pump it up around 8 o'clock before market opens. There it goes. I saw it happening. Good morning, Rodrigo, or M. Already told you good morning. M is not spiking on my label. There's no reason to check it at the moment. We watched it prior to this minute, earlier this morning. It is moving now. You can mark these out when it stops. This was kind of a hesitation here, not necessarily a pullback. So what you're seeing is people know there's no halts in pre-market. So before the market opens, they pump up a few stocks every now and then and take their final profits. Because at market open, if the market opens down, this stock could just drop and they lose everything. So they make one last run before, usually around the 8 o'clock hour, before the market opens, and try to get a little bit more profit. Just remember, your money's in pre-market, not after 8 o'clock necessarily, unless you see them pushing one up. You may want to take your chances on it. But I never chase the green candles. Don't know if we'll get a pullback here. We may start getting a sell-off because of market open. You can see the run-up on M was back here. We had a couple of traders make some profit on it. So we're currently downwards. Always zoom out and get the big picture and notice what that stock is doing. Sometimes I even trade looking at the big picture. That is when I can see it clearly. So at 8 o'clock, I'm going to take a 10-minute break. I know this is going to be the slow part of the morning, and sometimes when I go get me some more coffee, the stocks take off. That has happened. But I have a few things I have to do at 8 o'clock. Got to swallow a few pills, etc. Good morning, Island Man. Roger. Good morning, Vaughn. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. All right, warning, I have returned. Not seeing anything moving. Let's see a new stock up here. Looks like it may have shot up a little. Probably not going to do much. We're close to market open, about 20 minutes away. Thank you, Pedro. Obispo, those indicators are in current setup, steps 1 through 4. If you're looking for a specific scan, it will be over in TOS scans. You are welcome. All of the current scripts will always be in current setup. So everything you see on my screens up here is in current setup. If I do any upgrades to a newer version, I always put out a message. If I post something new, I put out a message. Most of the time, they're all launched on YouTube. Good morning, Martin. Probably going to be pretty much dead till 8:30 when the market opens. 9:30 on the East Coast. Good morning, P. Glad you can make it. Pumping up M a little bit here before market open, going for those last profits. It's not very strong, but it is going up. I don't play these stocks at all, the ones that are pumped up. I wait till market open and play the pullbacks. This just tells me, yes, there still is buyer interest in this stock. Especially if they're willing to pump it up before market open. Go for it. It's been a pretty good morning. We had a couple of runners. Was not a promising start, but it turned around. Melanie, they're usually in stock trading groups. A lot of people like to build big groups of people. They'll buy a stock and then they'll push it out to their subscribers. And when they all start buying, they get out. It's illegal to do, but they do it. They'll pump it up and everybody will start buying it. Even people outside of the group will start buying it, and then they'll sell off heavily and you get stung. Doesn't happen a whole lot in pre-market. They usually do that during market open hours. See you later, go for it. Pedro, I've been married 47 years. We're like one person now. You become one, you think alike. Sometimes I don't even have to open my mouth and she'll say the same thing I'm thinking. Thank you, Robert. So when you've been married forever, careful what you're thinking. Your wife already knows. Thank you, Pedro. You'll get there. That's the old saying stands true. One day love will find you. Thank you very much. Good job, Dana. Thank you, Old Thumb. And congratulations to all of you. You all look like you're veterans of the marriage, or your wife is. I don't know how they put up with us, but they do. The younger generation always asks me, how did you make it that long? It's called forgive and forget because we all mess up. Just be careful of what you're messing up with is the issue. We're all human. Sometimes we make bad choices. Congratulations, Flo. Thank you, Dana, for that contribution. Sometimes I even question myself, why did you do that? You know you can't do that. Why did you do it? I don't know. I guess I'm getting old. I don't know if this younger generation is going to have marriages that last this long. I hope they do. Yeah, the SPY is going negative. Couple minutes, we'll switch over to market open. And congratulations to all of you who have stuck in there for a long-term marriage. It's very rewarding when you do that. All right, I'm going to move the RG 50-minute scanner up here. That would be this one right here. They are sorted by Momo, but I'm going to sort them by volume spike. I want to see the strong ones come up here to the top. You can still sort them by Momo if you want. I'm just sampling different ways. This is how we used to trade it without this momentum scanner, was we would sort by volume spike. I'm going to try it again today. Down here, I'm going to have the all stocks. Actually, we probably should leave that one there. I'm going to do away with the earnings and put high flyers down here. If you don't know what high flyers is, it's looking at 3 different EMAs. It's looking at the 5 to 13 and the 34. So if they're stacked in the proper order, 5 above the 13, the 13 above the 34, and if the price is running up above the 5, that stock's going to show up down here. It's a good stock to watch, a good scan to watch all day long, along with the 50-minute. I run them side by side. Usually play this very first stock down here in high flyers. Don't know if I would trust any of these scans at market open. It's very volatile. You'll notice that in this volume spike column, you'll see lots of green and red. It'll literally fill up. You won't know which ones to play, so watch the top ones up here since I'm sorted by volume spike. If you're sorted by the Momo, then you're going to still watch the top ones. Keep an eye on both of these scans. Sometimes we'll have one fire up down here and it doesn't show up here. So we'll be monitoring these three scans at market open. I will be waiting for pullbacks at market open. I won't be chasing green candles. And I'll be marking out those resistance and support levels if I see something worthy of me marking it out. A little bit tougher after the market opens. That's when everybody's participating. It's a lot harder to find the winning stocks until market calms down. Hopefully there's some good strong ones left over. It's kind of like when I need to trade about 5 minutes after market open. Sometimes I'll chase a green candle if it looks strong enough, but I don't suggest anyone do that unless you're well experienced in trading. Got about 2 minutes to go here. So be careful to everybody. Choose your stocks wisely. Make sure you get a setup on them before you trade them. And good luck to you. May the Lord bless you this morning at market open. I'm going to think Macy's could be the play here this morning. I'm going to probably play the pullback on it. Probably jump in lightly, starting at around 500 shares. If it looks good, I may increase them. That all depends on how it responds at market open. The SPY is down. Keep that thought in mind. The SPY could open up and fall off a cliff. And everything down with it. 15 seconds to go. Good luck to you. I may go silent, but watch my mouse clicks. If I'm in a trade, I don't talk too much. Make sure you're on day on your TIFF. Here we go. Looks like M's going to run up here. Don't know how high. I'll mark it out if it's a pullback. Not seeing much on the volume spike indicator. SPY is trying to barely creep up. Doesn't look like a whole lot of buyers coming into M yet. Watching these two lines down here, you can see the buyers are down here below the sellers. Would love to see a pullback to 1402. Right now, it's a guessing game. Is it going to go up or down? No one knows. This first candle being volatile, I can't mark out a resistance level on it. The SPY is rising. We are red in the volume spike column. May pull back to that 1402. It got very close. Oh, that was a hard sell-off. They got tired of waiting for it to rise. It may hold that 1402 level. Somebody dropped a large amount of shares on this stock. It may freak everybody else out. It may continue going down, or it may bounce up. If it bounces up, it probably won't go much past here. Not seeing anything interesting over here in the volume spike column. I'm also monitoring it at the same time. We may get that bounce. We are at support, but we're still below the sellers over here. Keep that thought in mind. We do have sellers here and we do have bearish here. We may or may not get a play on M. Not too promising. Looks like indecision. Would be a lucky guess if we click the mouse button now. I'm not feeling confident in this trade at all. We keep coming back to this support level. We could get a bounce out of it if it doesn't continue to pull down. But it keeps pulling back up to it. Looks like it's now turned into resistance. This support level is no longer support. It's going to be a failure, I think. So that good news wasn't so good news at market open. Yep, it's going to sell off. Doesn't mean we're not going to have a bounce play somewhere. The problem is finding it. So if we look back at the big picture, that's what we're looking at. So we could actually mark out this level here. SPY is pulling back now. It did bump up a little. It's pulled back about half of what it bumped up. I'll take a look at XERS. Not a pullback yet. It's still running up. I don't know why that one's not in my list. There it is. It finally popped in there. Maybe I wasn't scrolled up all the way. SPY is pulling back. It is probably going to drop this morning. It's back down to the opening price. There was a pullback here. I kind of missed it. It just popped up to the top of the list. Kind of popped up late, I guess because the volume died in this area. Just need volume on this one. It's probably going to sit there and bump around. Very low volume, not even hardly ticking right now. Sono just don't have the volume to support the rise. It may creep up slowly. Could go either direction at this point. CZS is rising since open. Couple of pullbacks. Not really pullbacks, profit takers, I'm going to call them. Pullback would be a full-bodied candle. Still seeing a bunch of bouncing around. There's nothing really increasing in numbers. I want to see something really jump up there. Give me some 20s and 30s. That's what I need. Did M turn around? Let's go see. Did turn around for a small bounce up. The buyers are still below the sellers. Do have sellers in the overall volume, as indicated down here. It's a guessing game this morning. It's a tough one. Now we're back to red in the volume spike column. Nothing at the top really kicking it. Sono climbing up a little, it appears. Vaughn, I hope you made your profit. Probably going to hit resistance there. I'm hoping the best for you, Vaughn. Hope it jumps on through there and makes a big bump up for you. Yeah, it's not too strong. I would probably consider taking profits at that point. And don't listen to me. That's how I see it. If you want to hang on, you hang on. That's your money. Maybe more to come. Hey, if you made $5, it's better than a $5 loss. We're not having a bunch of high spike numbers, so it's not such a good market this morning. That penny stock sold off. I call it penny stock. It's a dollar stock. Not having anything standing out. That one's only gaining pennies. HMY on the move here. Looks like a nickel at a time. Now, that's actually 3 cents. That's a 6-cent candle. Nothing impressive. But it is going up. Now it's bearish. Very tough morning. Thank you, James. Glad you had some success this morning. SPY's pulling back a little. Red candles are coming in. Red indicators. There ain't no candles over there, Mr. Gaspard. Lots of red coming in. It looks like we're going to have a sell-off here. I guess everybody's seeing what we see. Got in for a little bit of profit. Now they're bailing. Take a look at CDE. These are the high flyers. Remember, the moving averages are stacked, so they're just going to slowly run up until this price starts falling. I can click on any of these stocks and they will be moving up no matter what they are. It's just that they're on lower volume, but the moving averages are in the proper order. The price is above the 5. I call them low risk, but they can also take your money, so don't judge it by their name. Say PLM going up or down, Dan? Must be down with a frown. The SPY is moving upwards. It's that these prices aren't moving very much at all. They're all low volume buyers. It's pretty much like take your pick on the slow crawler. See you later, Dusty. Thank you for joining us this morning. God bless. Robert, that 34 scanner is pretty good. Just wait for price to break above it or below it, depending on which direction you want to play it. The 34 moving average is very respected level when you're day trading. I tend to stay above 34. That's the stocks you see us playing every day. They're above 34. But on bad days, you can watch them drop below the 34. They'll bounce right back up to it and possibly go back over it again. Not seeing any stock picks worth clicking on. Let's sort back by Momo, see if anything's up here playing around, and it's not. Sono's still playing in that zone. Like everything has pulled and leveled off. That's what I'm seeing as I click through them. See you later. Have a blessed day, Sock. I'll take a look at him. Looks like we may be making lower highs on M. When I say lower highs, I mean this being a high, this being a high, this being a high. They are lower highs. Much easier trading in pre-market rather than market open. That's a struggle at market open. If we were in a bull market, we could play the dips all day long in a bull market. When we're in a sell-off like this, that doesn't happen. It usually dies around 9 o'clock, and we're getting close to that hour. You can see the red coming in. That's everybody giving up. And it's a hurry up and wait the rest of the day. You sit here and hope something moves. Old Thumb, I've learned to accept bad days and good days. I'm here every day. I trade every day. Actually, I said that wrong. I'm looking at stocks every day. I don't trade every day. But I usually quit after this live stream. If I don't have anything to do, I may hang around till 10:30 to see if something happens. But yes, there are days. I don't think there's ever a day I don't log in, but there are days I don't trade. Shouldn't have to reload if it's working, Broke Joe. Maybe make sure in the scan EXT is checked. See you later, Roth. Have a blessed day. Getting closer to that 9 o'clock. Dead, 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 dead. You can see nothing up here. Be glad when these days are over. Just don't have the volume in the market to support making some decent profits on run-ups. That's why I'm relying on pre-market mostly. I know many of you was looking at Macy's. We all thought it was going to be the winner. It's actually the one I watched at market open, and it did nothing but pull off and sell off. It tells you how good news is, right? It's not about the news, it's about the numbers, it's about the buyers and the sellers. It's all about what they decide to do. Not even having any volume spikes over here in the high flyers. Bro Joe, here's my window over here. You click the scan tab, you go over to these three bars, load scan query and personal, then you look for that high flyers, click on it, it's going to bring up the settings, make sure this EXT is checked and it's on 1 minute. I also have $1 to nothing, there's no maximum price, and I have 500,000 shares. That's how you change it. And then once you change it, hit these three bars and save it. So it retains your settings. It's been a pretty rough week, Dana, in my opinion. Really not much happening after 9 a.m. I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. Not looking like I missed anything. Sono still hugging that line. Robert, we're not looking to jump from stock to stock in a bull market. You're looking to nail one or two of them with high volume and with large share size, and you're done for the day. Rich, I have a video on that and how-to videos on Discord. It's about multiple screens. It'll tell you exactly what I've done. Let's take a look at M. Could be in recovery. Hated to see it sell off like that. Maybe it's because it's a New York thing. See you later, back road bound. Have a blessed day. LIFW jumping around. I might as well look at it. That's all the rest of them are doing. Yeah, it did make a run up. We're about 50 cents. That's why it's good to keep these stocks that move for us in pre-market. It's good to keep them in a watch list and monitor them. You can always get more plays out of them later as long as they're active. Let's look at LIFW on a 15-minute chart, see if it tells us a different story. So it's just been jumping up and down around that same zone it's in now. So this level would probably be the top. That's the level I was talking about in the 15-minute chart. So if you didn't catch what I did there, I went over here to this price column. You can see it changes to up and down. And you can go up or down with the chart. But if you do that, make sure when you're done, there's a symbol, an emblem up here. Click this and go back to auto when you're done. But you can move the chart this way. Just make sure you go back to auto. Big sell-off on LIFW. That could have hurt. This is the issue that I see with level 2. Because in level 2, if this was a pending order to sell at a certain price, you would have seen it in level 2. If the guy decided to just sell at market price and hit the sell button at 10 or 20,000 shares, that's when you get this big red candle. It wasn't a pending order. He just sold at market price and got out of it. So level 2 won't help you when this happens. You won't see that pending order. It'll just happen. I've actually got caught in these candles. Not too many times, probably a handful of times through my trading career. One day it took $1,500 from me within a half a second. You just have to be willing to accept that it's not your fault because you didn't see this pending order. Sometimes you just get caught. It's trading. I've also been in them where I never thought they were going to do anything and they jump up $2 in one candle. And I jump out and it jumps up another $2. The market's unpredictable. I'm watching ABVC. It's pulling back to me. There's not enough volume driving these things today. I'm looking for percentages green and the number rising rapidly, and we're not having that this morning. But you can see these high flyers are still doing their thing. They're just not spiking to give us an entry. But they are slowly crawling up, and they do change. This may not be the same exact ones, but it's still letting us know the moving averages are still in order on these stocks. The price is still above the 5. Definitely not much volume. INTC made a good run this morning, all the way from 41 to 42.60, 50. I saw it moving earlier this morning, but thought the price range was a little high for most of the traders. Stone cold. I try to nail pre-market. I like to be done before the market's open. I don't like fighting this battle of who's going to win. In pre-market, I know it's not so volatile and my chances of winning are much greater. That's why I kind of wait till market calms down. I don't like to chase green candles right when the market opens. I've had some severe losses that way, but I've had some good winners that way too. But I don't like playing 50% wins or 50% loss. It can go either way. It's too risky, really. I want to trade from 6 a.m. to 8:30, turn off the computer, and go do what I want to do the rest of the day. Hasn't been happening that way lately. I've made a few profits over the last month, but nothing impressive. Just because you get $300 or $400 on one day and nothing the next, it's kind of like you only earned half of it. Because you didn't continue. Jim, it's my screen looks clear. It's your screen that looks blurry. I know what you're saying, though. Maybe get out and get back in. But I will be signing off here in the next 15 minutes. They say click the gear icon on the YouTube video and you can adjust your resolution. Stone Cold, there's not very many pullbacks on the high flyer scan. You just kind of have to catch the dips and hope it's going to continue its trend. We need more volume to come back in the market, and this high flyer scan will really perk up for you. But even in stocks that are not in this scan, such as up here, we don't have any volume to push anything. It dies at 9 o'clock. Unless something out of the ordinary happens, we're not going to see any gains. So yeah, these are a bit risky, but they can pay off. And since they're moving so slow, you can cut your losses easily. See, we have Amazon in high flyers. Good to see you, Fire Medic Dave. You have a blessed day. Thank you for joining us this morning. You're welcome, JC. It's always my pleasure. See you later, Broke Joe. You have a blessed day as well. Malik, that sounds like an internet issue, an internet connection issue. You're not loading data for some reason. Got to have a pretty high internet speed to monitor multiple scans and all of this data that's being fed to your machine. You have to have a good internet connection. Keith, it's going to be released on Sunday, anywhere between 12 and 2. The SPY is selling off, if y'all haven't looked. We're becoming more negative today. Probably a good day for the short sellers again. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You have a blessed one as well. Stone Cold, you don't need all of them scripts. I would download this setup and occasionally download one of the other indicators that I used to run just to play around with it. I wouldn't overload the machine. The more scans you're doing, the more resources you're doing. I think you can get by with these three scans, the 50-minute, the all stocks, and the high flyers. And maybe the earnings scan. The rest of them, there's no sense in running them. If you attend these live streams, you see we do just fine with what we have. I do not trade the cues. I guess YouTube fixed their bug because we have run through 2 sessions without an issue. Thank you, YouTube. See you later, Eric. Have a blessed day. See you later, Robert Pro. Have a blessed day. There will be a video on how to use it. You're welcome, GMAC. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, that's where you can help support this channel. Subscribe, watch the videos, comment on the videos, let YouTube know what kind of a job I'm doing. There's a link to the YouTube video. That's also where I release new indicators. You'll get the first to know on YouTube. And it moves over to Discord for your download or your import, however you want to look at it. If you don't belong to our Discord, I'll post a link down there in the chat. Discord's where you'll find all of these files. The current one you see on the screen is located in current setup. If you don't know how to install these scripts, labels, and indicators, watch the how-to video number 8. It'll walk you through it. If you still have issues, contact us in support. We'll try to help you out. Everything is free, but there is an option to support the channel if you choose to do so. Click on the voluntary contributions in Discord. Every little bit helps us keep it going, but it's not mandatory. It's all voluntary. About 9:30, I'll be calling this session an end. It was a successful one. We did get a couple of pullback plays. Not all of us made money. Some of us are learning. I didn't make any trades today. I don't know why. I guess I just didn't feel up to it. Didn't see anything promising enough. And tomorrow is Friday. I call it sell-off day. We may have a good pre-market, but the rest of the day will probably be flat. Take it day by day, candle by candle. ATGL. This had to have been a very slow crawl to this level with that kind of volume. Very slow crawl. Probably nothing we missed. It's actually halted. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it did run up and halt. It wasn't triggered on the scanners. It is at the top of the list. I think it just popped in. Now it's resumed. Very difficult to play halts. You don't know which way they're going to go. Probably back into a halt right there from somebody selling too many shares. It was halted, Robert. It just came unhalted and sold off. They're just clearing the sell orders. Double Dare, once you get everything set up like you like it, hit the setup button and save the workspace. That's how you do it. Put all the windows where you want them, click setup, save workspace. All right, guys, not much happening here. Appreciate everybody who joined us this morning. I hope to see you again in the morning. I'll be starting at about 5:55. That's when we start making money, right at 6 a.m. If you're late, you're probably going to miss the first run up. Great possibility you could make a couple $100 if you just get here a little early, but it's not guaranteed. But it does happen often. Totally up to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining this morning. Thank you for all the blessings. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day trading. God bless. Bye.